The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the United States and Saudi Arabia have agreed on broad terms of a normalization agreement with Israel, and that they hope to finalize the details within 9 to 12 months. But there are some stipulations that probably are going to take some time. One being that there must be major steps or major gestures toward the Palestinians for this normalization agreement to move forward. And reading from the article, it says that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has reportedly told aides that he is not ready to fully normalize ties with Israel and is not eager to reach an agreement with the current hardline government led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. While U.S. officials have stressed that their approach to an Israel-Saudi deal is not all or nothing, and that they also back interim steps that bring the sides closer to full normalization, the stance attributed to the Crown Prince in the Wall Street Journal report on Wednesday appeared to be the first time a Saudi official was suggesting that such interim moves might be as far as Riyadh is willing to go, and that it's not ready for an accord akin to the one Israel signed with the United Arab Emirates in 2020. And while U.S. officials have privately acknowledged that opponents of Palestinian sovereignty, who make up a clear majority in Netanyahu's government, will complicate efforts to secure a normalization deal, since it will require significant moves to revive the two-state solution. The report was also the first time discomfort with the idea of making any sort of deal with the current coalition was expressed by Riyadh as well. At the same time, the journal noted that bin Salman, known as MBS, has given conflicting messages to different audiences, and that U.S. officials still believe the Saudi leader is serious about trying to reach an agreement. Now, of course, what is the significance of this agreement? Well, the significance is that the Bible says that in the last days that the Antichrist would rise up and that he would bring about a peace accord, and it appears that it's one that will already exist, and he'll make it better, or at least bring it to a conclusion. Now, the one thing that I thought was interesting is that the United States said that it was not necessary for the agreement to be agreed upon as is, but it could be implemented in steps or stages. Now, of course, that's where I believe that a 7-year time frame could come and play a part. Now, right now, this report is on the hush-hush. The United States has flatly denied that there's any type of normalization deal in the works, but we know that it's been going on for quite some time. And reading from the article again, it said the reporting has left some people with the impression that the discussions are farther along and closer to some sense of certainty than they actually are, he added. Now, as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, it says Saudi Arabia is seeking a NATO-like mutual security treaty that would obligate the U.S. to come to its defense if the latter is attacked, a civilian nuclear program monitored and backed by the United States, and the ability to purchase more advanced weaponry from Washington, such as the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, anti-ballistic missile defense system, which could be used to combat Iran's increasing missile arsenal, the New York Times said, confirming previous reports in the Times of Israel. Now, in exchange, the United States is looking for Riyadh to offer an unprecedentedly large aid package to Palestinian institutions in the West Bank, curtail deals with Chinese technology firms, use U.S. dollars instead of Chinese currency to price oil sales, reject a Beijing plan to establish a military base on Saudi soil, and bolster the truce that ended the civil war in Yemen. Right now, Israel is not being presented with any terms at this time, but they do realize that any agreement with Saudi Arabia would have to include the Palestinians. So it'll be interesting to see what the details are going to be and which Israel will have to accomplish in order to get into such a deal. But summing this deal up, it says it is perhaps due to the many hurdles that stand before a deal that U.S. officials have been willing to acknowledge in recent weeks that chances for success remain low. Now, frankly, that's what they're saying. I was watching Newsmax, and they were saying the same thing, that it's pretty low, mainly because the Biden administration had called the Saudi Arabian government a pariah state. So I'd probably say if there is going to be some type of agreement, that it's probably going to not be until President Trump is reelected in 2024. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this turns out. I frankly don't see that the Biden administration will move the needle much further with this, but I do think that when President Trump does win the 2024 election and becomes president, things are going to get a little interesting. But I will continue to keep you up to date on this very important event and see if it does move in the direction as to be the peace with many. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would do that right away. One of the best ways to get notifications from me is either to hit the notification bell on this video, or you can get on my Getter account. Subscribe to that, and you will not only get daily prophetic messages, but you'll also get a notification as to when my next video is. And of course, if you don't know the Lord, today is the day of salvation. And for those who have already come to know the Lord, I'd get a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide. And I would get that in the hands of every lost loved one or friend that I know. Certainly, when the rapture does take place, those who have been left behind are going to need this book in a very, very critical way. So I hope that you help spread the word and get this book out, and purchase a few so that you can get them to your friends and loved ones. Just go down to the description section of this video, click the link to the website, and then once you get there, it'll show you how to get the amount of copies that you want. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.